Thank you for the business at hand for our tribal members. Guide and lead us to make decisions for the better of our tribe. Thank you for the leadership, dear Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, Shelley.
David Watkins,
Amen.
Don Garvin, Jack Baker, Harley Buzzard, Joe Bird,
Honey?
Juliet Coates,
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk,
Here.
Janelle Fulbright, Frankie Hargis,
Present.
Tyler Glory Jordan,
Present.
Lee Keener,
Honey?
Nick Lay,
Here.
Curtis Snell, Janice Taylor,
Here.
David Thornton, Victoria Vasquez,
Honey.
Cherokee Watt. We do have a quorum.
Thanks, Shelley. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from January 12th, 2015. So moved. Second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Down in reports, we got Miss Diane Kelly with Talking Leagues Job Corps, Career Services and Vocational Ed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Yes, sir.
We were on a high yesterday. We were on conference calls back and forth with the United States Department of Labor on our JD-NEG grant. Brenda Fitzgerald, Darrell Legg, and Deborah Lack and myself have monthly conference calls with Department of Labor. And our project officer had given us some information. It kind of backed us into a corner on our training component of that grant, which kind of stifled us. And after we started visiting with Arkansas, Louisiana, and Montana and found out how they were operating their program, we found out that they're sending out information to all the states, and guess what? They forgot about us. And I said, isn't that discrimination? And boy, if you don't think they didn't start backpedaling, they said, we'll include you guys. We forgot about you. And I said, well, don't forget, we're the only Indian tribe that got that grant. And when you send stuff out, you don't have us on the mailing list. But needless to say, we got some things cleared up. We kept going back and forth with them all day. And at 4:37 yesterday afternoon, they conceded, and I guess we wore them down. And now they're allowing us to use those dollars for that vocational training component that was written in the grant the way we wrote it. I think our terminology and our definitions are entirely different than the way theirs is, but this is what we meant. That's what we wrote in the grant, and they accepted it. So we're moving forward. We were going to come in and ask for additional vocational monies, but after we got that worked out yesterday, I think we can go with the people that we've got in the pipeline right now, which will get us through till the end of the fiscal year. But rest assured, Darrell said to tell you all that when the new hearings start, he will be asking for more vocational monies. Brenda wanted me to let you all know that she would be coming forward next month with a resolution. Her vocational rehabilitation funding, it's a 5-year program, and it's up, and she'll have to go back and reapply. And Mr. Chairman, Mr. Co-Chair, she'll probably be contacting you all about her resolution for next month. And
Okay.
It's being run through the process right now over in Lacey's shop.
Thank you.
Our vocational training, job-driven National Emergency Grant is changing their name. As of July 1, it will be called the National Dislocated Worker Grant, NDWG. The WIA is being replaced with what they call the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, and that goes into effect July 1 of this next fiscal year. So when that goes into effect, there will probably be some new grants out there for us to go in and apply for, we're hoping. That will open up probably about 100 slots for Darrell with his vocational training, but we'll have to look at the types of training that we submitted in that grant. So we'll only be able to fund what was actually in that grant that they actually approved. So if you have constituents that are contacting you saying that they want to be a belly dancer, or they want to go and shoe horses or whatever, well, they're not on that list. So we'll have to actually look at the list that actually was put into effect. What we did is we looked at the national average jobs that are out there, like for instance truck driver training, because of where we sit right next door to Arkansas. That is, and we've got people in truck driver training right before they complete, they've got jobs lined up and they're good paying jobs. So those were the types of vocational training components that we put in that list of training. I think most of you all know that we're going to be moving our offices here in the next several weeks, months, whatever, I guess. I don't know how long it's going to be, but we're going to have to move our testing site that's over here on the corner. And the reason I'm telling you is because you all were real interested in that, because there's only like 20-something testing sites in the state. We're going to be moving that over to the motel. When we shut that down, there will be a lapse of time in there that we won't be testing here. So if you get any complaints, that's why. Once we get that testing site relocated to the back of the motel, the state Department of Ed has to come down and look at the site and certify it before we can actually start testing. So even after we get it up and operable, we still have a waiting time for them to come and check it out. So I'm kind of giving you a forewarning on it. What we'll do is we'll try to, we've got testing scheduled up through April, and Landra said that she wouldn't schedule anything after that, which will give us a little bit of a lag time in there. Our modular welding union group from the ironworkers, they started their welding program this week up at the Taro building. It's a modular unit. The classroom component is in the Taro office, and when these guys complete their training in 8 weeks, then they will get a journeyman certification where they can actually be apprentice working in the union. When we leave Tahlequah, we're going up to Pryor. From Pryor, we're either going to Claremore or we're going down to Salisaw. We haven't decided yet. We have to go where there's actually, those guys are going to get jobs with the unions. So that's why we have to stay in proximity to either Fort Smith or to Tulsa. We are enhancing our vocational business class with that JD-NEG grant. We're adding 5 to 6 more students in that vocational class. Our child care certification program, we're enhancing that, and also our buildings trades. And I guess that means that we'll be helping David Pruitt on more houses. We don't know, but we'll be enhancing that. Customized fast-track culinary in Salisaw. Salisaw Middle School is moving into a new school. We went down and met with Scott Farmer, the superintendent of schools for Salisaw, and they're going to let the VOTEC lease that cafeteria, and we're going to use it for a training site for our culinary fast track for the Roland Hotel Casino. Eric Shoemake is going down to look at it, and we're going to get some equipment in there, and we're supposed to start classes sometime around the end of March, and we'll run those classes all the way up through the summer so that we've got a pipeline of people, because there's about 120-something positions that will be open in that culinary area. We have continued our dialogue with OSU. They submitted a partnership proposal. Bruce and I have met, and we're going to allocate some of our slots to that culinary program so that we have some career ladders for anybody that wants to go into the culinary area so that they can get a degree, whether they could be a sous chef or a bona fide chef. And OSU is going to come and visit us here in about a couple of weeks, and they're going to tour our other facilities, and then we're going to go up to OSU, and we might get a T-shirt for you, Dick. Just kidding. But anyway, we are continuing our dialogue with them. Bruce and I are in partnership on this, and Paul Gerald at the Hard Rock was part of the team that let them tour the Hard Rock from the back of the house, and we're going to take them up to West Siloam Springs and down to Roland. They're very excited about this partnership because they're going to use the Cherokee Nation as their springboard for introducing this culinary program to other tribes and hospitality centers. We are continuing our monthly meetings with Bob and Vivian on all the different positions that they have open at all of our sites. We are in the process of working with them on this training for the culinary. And I can't say enough about C&B. They have been very easy to work with, and I attribute that to the leadership of our principal chief and Sean and Chuck Garrett. They contact us regularly about various things. Here's a business, we need you all to meet with them because it falls into your area more than it does ours, and we appreciate that. And then when we get one, we contact them and tell them that this is really over in your area, it's not in our area, because we're here to supply the labor pool and to get people jobs and get them the training that they need. Talking Leaves Job Corps, I want to commend Don Lucas. I think some of y'all know Don. Don's from Cherokee County. He's a former superintendent. He retired, went to work for us over in our counseling area. We have a high school academy through our 3 Job Corps centers in the state. We were able to get this in place when Sandy Garrett was the superintendent of schools. We're the only state that has that in place. And Don is now the superintendent for the 3 Job Corps centers, and they have their school board meetings every 3 months. And I want to commend Don for stepping up to do that for us. He's still serving as a counselor for us over at our center, but he is the superintendent of our school board for the 3 centers. I want to commend Jay Littlejohn and Andrea Dickerson and Mona Holt and the whole team over at Job Corps. We were notified that Talking Leaves is one of, I think, 18 to 20-something centers. There's 120-something centers. They will be recognized at the 50th Job Corps anniversary in April. We get a star award. This is the 3rd consecutive year that Andrea has submitted all of our different community service projects, and we will be one of the honorees at the 50th anniversary in April in Washington, D.C. So I commend them. And Jay and Mona have been working night and day to get some things submitted to the Dallas Regional Office on AWOLs. We do have a little bit of an AWOL problem as well as our placement area, but that's being worked on, and I think in probably a couple of months they'll have it up running real smooth. The center is full, and our academic area, as far as the performance standards, they're doing outstanding, and I commend all my teachers over there. They're doing a good job. Do you all have any questions?
Is that the Don Lucas from Palmer?
You got it.
Good
The Don Lucas. Yes, we call him Mr. Wonderful over at Job Corps because he is the most upbeat person. He never has a frown on his face, and he is one of the friendliest people you'll ever meet in your life.
He's always upbeat.
He is, very much so.
Congratulations on your Star Award as well.
Thank you so much.
3rd consecutive year.
Thank you.
Right. Yes, Denise?
As that when you have to take down the testing center, that you keep Thunderbird Youth Academy and their testing, they can only test at certain times. If you have any control over it, would you keep their schedule in
Yes, we
mind?
will.
Basically-
In fact, Stephanie and Landra's probably watching this stream right now, and they will take that into
Yeah.
consideration.
And let
Thank
me
you.
know when you schedule the welding training in the different areas, if you give me heads up.
I will
ahead
be
of
glad to
time.
do that.
Thank you.
John Overecker is working with Daryl Legg, and I'll make sure that they get that information out there to you well in advance.
Thank you so much. That's all.
All right. Yes, Speaker Jordan?
Yes, I have someone that may be interested in trying to see what they can do up at Macy's. Could they come and visit with you?
What county are they from?
Cherokee.
Yeah, they can come in and visit with me. I'll tell you who our point person is, Larry Daugherty. Some of y'all may remember Larry. He used to work for us here at The Nation over at the newspaper. Then he transferred up to CNE, and he's been with us. He's the job developer, and he's designated point person in working with the HR director at Macy's. In fact, he's been very instrumental in several positions that we've gotten calls on. I'll tell you what I told him. I said, don't stick your neck out if you don't know these people. But I said, get their resume, look it over, and you decide whether or not it's somebody that you want to go to bats for to get their foot in the door. And he's been very instrumental in getting some people that lost their jobs up at Amazon, had been working up there for a while and had good credibility and had good resumes. He's taken those resumes of those people and forwarded them into the HR lady, and she scheduled interviews with them. So it is working.
Would you care to send us the contact info?
I will be glad to.
And maybe we can just match our people up with him and go from there.
Okay, all right. Now Larry is down here in Tahlequah. He comes down about once a week to meet with Brenda, and I can have him schedule something when he's down here.
Okay.
Save him a trip up there.
Okay. I'll get with you offline.
Okay, very good.
Councilman Buzzer?
Yeah, and I think that answered my question, Diane. But can they go online now to apply for those types of jobs through that?
There is some that are on there, but the main job that is working out in the fulfillment center, where they're gonna hire about 1,000 and
Yeah,
some people.
yeah.
That position they pulled, and when
Oh, they
we
did?
met with
Okay,
them,
that's what I-
when we met with them last Thursday, Chief Baker and I were invited to a luncheon to meet with them, and they had their corporate people there. The new guy, Fred Barnes, who was over the plant, he said that they pulled that, and they're going to put it back out there probably in the next week or two. The reason they pulled it was because they had over 1,700 applications for just that one job. And he said that, well, when I say that one job, there's a bunch of jobs, but that one job description is what I'm talking about. And he said that they wanted to make sure that they made contact with everybody that looked good on the application and the resumes and set them up for interviews before they actually put another release back out there. I'll have a lot more to tell you at E&F because we got a lot more going on than just this. And it's good stuff.
What's that acronym, that GD-NEG grant?
Job-driven National Emergency Grant, and it changes to National Dislocated Worker Grant. And you can thank the Gulf people for that, because they were instrumental in getting that changed because of all those dislocated workers that lost jobs.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot of people that are in that category, what they call dislocated workers. It could be a homemaker who hasn't ever worked. And so they've kind of given us a little more leeway than what they had in the past. Any
What's
other
that,
questions?
what's that grant for, Diane?
It's for.
I mean, I apologize.
It's
What's
for
the amount?
on-the-job training with businesses, and it's for vocational training.
What's the amount? I apologize.
It was 2.6 million
Wow.
for 2 years.
Councilor Hargis?
I just want to say I appreciate all you do and all the jobs and everything, but we'd like a little focus on Adair County if you would.
Well, I will be able to tell you something in the, now remember, this is education, this is training. The jobs piece, I'll tell you about that in E&F. It's good,
Okay.
I promise.
Hey, Speaker Jordan?
I want to commend you. You always come to us with good stuff. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I have good staff, and they work hard, and they produce.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I like your welding modular as well. That was much needed.
The what?
The welding modular that is that right? The welding modular, is that what you're calling it?
Yes, it's a union welding module unit, and it's where we're able to take it around.
Yeah.
And they helped us get our foot in the door with the union with that, so
Yeah,
we're
that's-
very
that's a
appreciative.
good program, Diane.
Thank you.
Appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Executive Director's Report, Dr. Sly and Mr. Bruce Davis. Don beating all the chicken up.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, good morning. I know you got a report. Dr. Sly, do you want to go first? I'll let you go first if you like.
Well, I just want to say that you do have our report in front of you. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer or try to answer them.
Janice?
I noticed that the number of promise students, scholarship students was down. Do you have anything that you attribute that to?
I really don't. Jennifer, promise students, numbers?
We have 68.
68. That was you guys' fault.
68 in the fall. We have 62 currently for each
And it's just two dropping.
Well, see, somehow I came up with, it's off by 24. Okay. Well, let me, if I have any questions, I'll just go
Okay.
And then on the, in the language, they have created a new how to write syllabary poster. Has that been printed yet? Is it available for print for our teachers that are working with that?
You can request, excuse me, you can request a copy from the manager of the language technology, Roy Boney.
And then I was curious about the outdoor camping video for CNE.
excuse me.
Outdoor camping video that they produced for CNE.
We wouldn't have anything to do with that if it's CNE. Right.
It's under language technology as one of their,
One of their projects.
When the-
yeah, and I was just curious what that was.
We'll find out for you and get back to you.
Yes.
I could probably direct that to Roy also. I'll take care of that, don't worry about it.
On your report, I'd just like to say that the college enrollment, concurrent enrollment, you see those numbers are up quite a bit. We're still taking those enrollment forms. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Also on your handout, we gave you this diagram of the chart for educational services. So that pretty much it tells you who's in charge of what and which department they're working for. So hopefully that's will help you out. I know that was requested. Okay?
Speaker Jordan.
On that concurrent enrollment,
Yes, ma'am.
will you just review with us real quick? It's based now on hourly. They get so much per hour for enrollment up to a certain number of hours, is that
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And we're not turning them away?
We are not.
Okay, because I think I sent one to you.
Yes, you did. We have not heard from them.
Okay, well, I need to,
Right.
I guess, backtrack there and find out where paperwork is. I'll get with you on that. Because for every, let's say they can get 30 hours in before they ever leave high school.
Right.
That's probably going to be $4,000 that we save on the back end.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we're not paying them near that much on the front end.
No.
To accomplish that.
No, ma'am.
So it's very efficient. It's allowing our juniors and seniors to move in to college early. But it's also saving us money that we can give more scholarships to more people eventually.
Right.
And I really like the program, and I commend you all for administering it and commend the chair for coming up with the idea.
Yeah, that's good. It's working out real good. We just got to find the money to pay for it, so that's a good thing. And I might make a comment on what Diane touched on with the OSU earlier, as far as the culinary opportunity that we have. That's going to touch natural resources, Harley, the gardening situation that we're looking at, the beef, the bison. OSU's very interested in Cherokee Nation helping provide some of those vegetables and products and beef and bison meat. So that's something we're looking into. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, Keener.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. On the Promise Scholars, is there a goal for next year? I mean, you have 68, I think. So is or we're going to average around that every 62, 68 every semester? Or?
It's my understanding that those were signed up for a 4-year term. So those, they haven't finished yet, so next year will be their last year. And so the numbers should stay the same. And then,
And the universities have a set number of rooms that they make available for our Promise Scholars, so.
Okay. So
Yeah.
under those constraints, what's the long range goal? Do we know?
as far as what they're going to do after they can finish school?
No, as far as number of students, will it always remain somewhere around that?
I think with the dorm situation and the number of students we have that apply for the, make the application, it's going to be from there to 100, I would say, in that range. Yeah.
And I appreciate you with this
Oh, yeah.
chart here.
Okay.
I don't, it may be on here, I'm not seeing it, immersion school, where does that fall under?
That would be under Mr. Qualls over there,
Sequoia.
under Sequoia.
Okay,
But we just didn't add it on there for some reason. I don't know why, Lee, but we'll put it on there for you.
okay,
Okay?
thank you.
All right?
Thank you, Chair.
All right, Councilman Budger.
Bruce or Gloria, when you do the outreach presentations to these schools, what all do you cover when we do those?
When, it depends on what which staff, because we have archery, we have robotics, we have, we do outreach even for our teacher institute that we do. We've got culture, and, you know, those kinds of programs. We've got storytelling. So outreach just involves a lot of our staff that can go and make presentations. We even ask the outreach for the higher education or the, you know, College Resource Center. They go out too, and we ask them to go out. We meet with superintendents on a monthly basis here and in other areas around the 14 county area, and I've even asked, I like to have them aware of the resources we have, so I've asked Diane to have someone designated from Job Corps to go let them know what we're doing out there with Job Corps.
Can you, and I'm trying to get J schools, and I don't know how involved they are with it, but can you give me the name, or you can email it to me, the person that you contact at that school? I seem to have problems with it. In education in general.
In general,
Yeah.
we contact the superintendent.
Okay, so he's your contact person?
He's our contact person, yes.
Because I've had some of the school board members ask me about it, and I said, well, I don't know who that contact person is.
Well, and then Johnson O'Malley, they have.
Yeah, it's community-based.
Right, it's community-based, and so you have that, but we always go directly to the superintendent.
I don't know if there's any way we could do this or not, but, and I think you do a pretty good job on sending out the information that you send to schools, such as like the children's trip to the Heritage Center or wherever they're gonna go, but I'd like to see all of those.
You want to be copied in?
Yeah, I'd like to be copied on it, because I want to make sure that it's getting to whoever I need to get it to, but I don't intend to talk to the superintendent up there. We don't seem to have much participation. And then we have probably 60% of Cherokee kids going to school there.
You're talking about it, Jay?
Yeah, Jay. And I'll bring it up to the school board members. We're lucky to have some Cherokee people on the school board now, so I'll get
Well,
more
and
in.
that's kind of something that happens at a lot of schools. The superintendent gets so much information. And we also make contact with the secretaries and ask them to disseminate. We
Okay.
even make personal trips to the schools,
Okay.
hand carry things out and hand them out, you know, and ask them to hang them out, post them somewhere for teachers. So we try to reach them in every way we can.
If there's any way that you could track how many times you've been to J schools, just email that to me, or who's went there.
Okay.
Just kind of give me an overview of the last, this school's not a big deal. I'd just like to know what's happening there.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Fuzzy. All right, good reports.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none? Good job, guys. Good seeing you, Dr. Sly. Head Start, Ms. Verna Thompson.
Morning, and Happy New Year. I'm ready to answer any questions if you have any from my written report.
Is there any questions for Ms. Verna?
I have one comment.
Speaker Jordan?
About 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3, Verna's group held a little banquet for the graduating students, which are our teachers and support staff, that go on their own time to a leadership program that has been created through Verna's department. And that was the nicest evening, the nicest program. And these folks are all doing this on their own time. They're coming in the evenings, and how many weeks is it?
Typically, it's 3 months, and they do come in the afternoon.
Okay, in the
Yeah, and-
afternoons.
and we
But
have
they're
some-
basically doing it to better themselves so that they can provide better services for our children, which they're the first line of attack. I always see you as the very first level on getting a child into our educational system. Between Verna's 2 groups, I think it's darn near almost 1,000 children that you impact yearly, provide services to. And that's 1,000 families, several thousand grandparents, and they are doing an awesome job there. Verna and her program is one of the big shining lights, I think, that I've noticed over the last 8 years, and I'm very proud of what you've done. I'm very proud of this group because this council saw the need to pass the 12.5% add-on money to the federal money that she gets, but we need to, at some point, consider even doing better on that, because that still leaves them with a 7.5% gap to get to 100% of their funding. But she's doing it, and she did it for years with no help at all. They are really to be commended.
I want to thank you all over again because it has impacted our retention rate. Our teachers stay with us. And they're
But
fine.
this is almost like we're giving 1,000 kids a little scholarship, isn't it?
Exactly. They are the first line of scholarships that
And
receive
that
that
value of a child being in your program is how much? I think you mentioned it at the
I'm sorry,
banquet.
what was-
The value to the family of the child being in your program on a yearly basis was how much?
15,000.
Yes.
Wow.
So
It's like a
15,000 is being spent on each one of those children through her program, mostly federal money. 80% of it's federal money. 12.5% comes through us, and 7.5% they beg, borrow, or get somehow to make up 100% yearly. And she is just, your program and your people, the retention rate is awesome over there. Her people come, they never leave.
Yeah.
They spend their whole life there in that program for the betterment of our young children. Thank you.
They
Thank
love what
your
they do.
staff.
And I have to say, Speaker Jordan was our speaker that night and really inspired our group, and they're still just riding high on what you said. It was a real feel-good message, and we appreciate that. They work hard every day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Baker.
Any
Any other questions?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Good job, Brian. Now down to Sequoia High School.
Bruce might be able to give a little report. If he is, maybe.
First, can you give us a,
You know Sequoia or not?
Yes, I'm on Sequoia.
okay.
Yeah. Apologize. Mr. Qualls, I'm going to go to a funeral. I told him I'd sit in for him on the Sequoia report. Do you have any questions? I know a couple of the things that Leroy wanted me to mention was that at Sequoia, we have 30 Gates Millennium Scholarship nominees out of 75, and that's 40% of the senior class, and that's awesome. So that was one of the things that he wanted to touch on. We have 2 wrestlers that are in the state tournament in Oklahoma City at the fairgrounds, Will Tiger and Nolan Philpott. The Lady Indians and the lady or the boys teams will be playing at Muskogee tonight, 6:30 and 8 o'clock. So that's something he wanted me to tell you. They both won their districts last week, and so we're excited about basketball at this time. So that's basically, yes, sir.
Yes, Chief Bird.
We've talked about adding a vocational agricultural component to Sequoia High School.
Yes, we have, Joe.
And I got a brief update from Ken yesterday from the Governmental Affairs Department, and I know he's doing really a good job of making that connection. Is that still moving forward?
Yes, sir, it is. We're real excited about having VOAG at Sequoia. I think everyone that's involved with Sequoia is excited about this program, and we feel like that with the partnership with USDA and some grant monies that are available, that we can possibly make this happen. Yeah.
Hey, Bruce, are you familiar with the legislation on the tribes being able to charter their own schools?
Yes, sir. I saw some of that just briefly on TV the other night, Stick. So
Is that going to affect us any, or did we spearhead that legislation?
well, we were involved in that, so I think we can. I don't think will hurt us much.
The funding is what concerns me. It's like it costs anywhere from $7,000 to $8,000 to educate a student in a public school setting.
Right.
And I know our charter school kids, I forgot what that number was. Was it? I want to say it was like 2,000 or 2,500 that we're getting. Well, it's 250,000 divided by 120 kids. I don't know what the math on that is, but that's what we're getting per kid from the state for our charter school. Has anybody got the math on that? 120 kids by 250,000.
We get your point.
Anyways, you get my point.
Right,
It's underfunded.
right. Yes.
I was wondering if our lobbying group, Cornerstone or whoever it may be, could see if legislators can make some kind of friendly amendment to get where the funding is equivalent or to state schools. I know there's a lot of formulas that go into that, but I don't know how you do that legally or a fair way.
Let's just say we're on top of that, and we're working with them right now, trying to get that resolved. So we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that doesn't hurt the immersion school. I'll just
Okay.
tell you that.
And also, there also needs to be a friendly that we're eligible for special ed, federal dollars, and the impact aid.
Yes. And that was in Leroy's report. We have applied for impact aid. We did apply last year. We're on the list, and we haven't been notified yet, but we did contact impact aid, and they said our application looks good, so we should know something within the next few weeks.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
All right.
Any other questions? Good report, Bruce.
All right.
Good job.
Thanks, sir.
All right, down old business, none pending, new business. Dr. Coach, you'd like to take this?
Yes, thank you. This is a resolution in support of the Autry National Center's Empire and Liberty, the Civil War in the West exhibit. I was approached a couple of months ago by Rick West, who is the director of the Autry, and as many of you know, is the former director of the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C. And they are doing an exhibit which opens on April 25th, and the Cherokee story is a significant part of this exhibit. The story begins actually in the early 1800s, goes through the removal and into the Civil War and just the aftermath of the Civil War. And while we're only a part of the overall exhibit, they showed me all the storyboards and everything, and I think they've done a really, really thorough and very nuanced presentation of our particular history as a part of this overall exhibit. So they would like to get a resolution of support from this tribal council and from the Cherokee Nation, that they can just list it in their program, and so that's what this resolution is about. I reached out to a number of people that I knew were interested in education, arts, history in particular. Most agreed to join me in sponsoring this, and I would invite anyone else who would like to be a sponsor to join in as well. So I make a motion for this resolution to be approved and to be moved to full council tonight.
All right, we got a motion, a second. Any discussion? Councilman Lay?
And the discussion, Julia, between you and I see some sponsors here that so you believe that they're going to depict the Cherokee Nation in a proper manner? This is what I'm asking from those of you that
Yes.
signed on.
Oh,
Counselor Lay, I have not seen the exhibit. I was just taking this, Counselor Coates' word that I'd like to see a part of it because it's not going to be shown until April 25th. But yeah, it'd be neat if it could be sent somewhere to the Cherokee Nation just for review.
Yes, Councilor
I
Lay,
have a
ask a
question,
question.
Julia. Do you know how long the exhibit is up and open?
I do not know that. If they gave me some materials about it, which I can maybe scan and send to Shelley, and maybe she can get, or I could just run in the next room and get them real quickly to answer that number of months. This is Rick West, reviewed by, as you know, he is the director of the Gilcrease Museum, and very, very knowledgeable about the Cherokee. So I think we've got a number of very good people that we trust who are recommending this.
She needs to send them
Okay. One more.
Yeah, go ahead, Councilor.
Julia,
a couple of things. Is it possible for you to send the storyboards to me or get the storyboards to me for us?
Well, the storyboards are actual physical boards that they have at
I
the
know,
museum.
but like a picture, photos, just a
Yeah.
photo file.
We can, I don't know what you want. I can run in the next room. Hang on just a second.
No, yeah,
if you will.
hey, you're good. Just,
That's
hey,
fine.
Julie, just do it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I did also want to add that I fully trust Dwayne King and Rick West to be experts on anything that's shown there, and I have no qualms about us approving this because I know them well and they're both highly esteemed in their fields.
Council Lady Taylor.
No.
Okay. Councilman Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like to speak in favor of it as well. Being a student of Cherokee history, anytime you go to a Civil War tech, I always look in the back and look for Cherokee Indians. And more times than not, Cherokee are not mentioned. So as Julia said, we're only a small part of it, but until we start educating people that, yes, indeed, the Cherokee Indians were a part of the Civil War, and it was devastating to our nation, then it was one of the low points of the Cherokee Nation right after the Civil War. I'm all for about educating people that, yes, we're Cherokee Nation, we're here, and that impacted us greatly. So I don't have any reservations either about us being a part of this. Thank you.
All right.
I'd just like to
Yes,
say, I
Councilman.
would have liked to have seen photographs of these storyboards before we vote on it, but I'm hearing some people who are very knowledgeable saying that these folks would present it in the proper manner, and that's what I'm concerned about. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Councilman Keener.
Could I direct a question to Dr. Coates, and if she could expound on what she does know about?
No, she's gonna get us those pictures afterwards, and so we're gonna go and call a vote. Is there any other questions or concerns? Yes, Councilman Keener.
Thank you. You said we're a small part of that, Julia? You want to respond?
I'm sorry?
You said we're a small part of the exhibit, correct?
I can't hear.
We're a small part of the exhibit, the Cherokee.
Yeah, the overall exhibit is about the Civil War. It's not about us specifically, but our story does run through it. I share Councilor Lay's concerns. I mean, I certainly want the Cherokee Nation to be presented in a way that is positive, that is historically accurate, and is fair. And, I questioned pretty thoroughly about some things. I just do want to assure you of that. I'm satisfied. I mean, I'm not somebody who thinks that we should control every aspect of the story, as even among ourselves we have different perceptions about it. But my overall concerns about the Cherokees being presented in a way that was fair and positive, I feel comfortable that we were.
Okay. All right. Good. I appreciate it, Dr. Coates. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor of this, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. All right, announcements. Next meeting's March 16th, 3 p.m.
She will send the photos though this afternoon.
Yes, Dr. Coates, you are going to send the photos this afternoon, correct?
Yes, I will do that right away.
All right, appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, here, motion to adjourn.
I have an
Councilman Keener?
announcement, please.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. I saw Miss Lanice Belcher come to the room, and she's past junior Miss Cherokee. Welcome her.
All right.
Selling chocolate bars.
And she's selling chocolate bars for a fundraiser, so she's going to hit everybody up. I hope you guys brought your wallets and you're good, Lanice.
Is this the new voting director?
Is this the new VOAG director, secretary?
The executive director.
Are you going to take G.V. Gallagher's place? You don't know.
If I could, just this moment, I know we're running behind lunch schedule, but this is Ryan Hembry, freshman at Tahlequah High School, son of Attorney General Todd Hembry. He's in a mentor program, and he's shadowing me today. His dad asked him what his interests were. He said business and science, and he said, forget that, you need to learn Cherokee politics. So, KG, if you're watching,
Amen.
I know your son has broad interest, and just like to introduce him, say a few words.
Hello, it's nice to meet you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Brian? All right. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So move. Second, all those in favor, say aye. Can't-
Don't move. We wanna go straight
We're gonna go
into
straight
resource.
into the next meeting.
Oh, heck, I was gonna bless the food.
No, then we'll bless the food.
Yeah, let's get this going.
Nobody move, Janice.